Welcome to our weekday reflection time here at St. Andrew United Church of Christ. It's good to have you joining us today. I want to let you know that starting today, we're going to be spending several weeks talking about some of the important events that are a part of our United Church of Christ history. They're referred to by our denomination as UCC Firsts. Firsts. Important things that happened in history that happened first in our own United Church of Christ. I think you'll be interested to hear what some of those first things are. Today, the UCC first that I want to tell you about is the first ordained African American minister. Lemuel Haynes was the first African American ordained by a Protestant denomination. In 1776, in the midst of the fight for liberty, he enlisted as a soldier, and then he wrote a defense of the liberation of African Americans from slavery. In November of 1780, Haynes was first licensed to preach, and he accepted a call at the Congregational Church in Granville, Massachusetts, making him the first African American minister of an all-white congregation. That Congregational Church is part of our roots, for the Congregational Church is a part of what would later become the United Church of Christ. And then 5 years later, in 1785, he was ordained. And so Lemuel Haynes became the first ordained African American minister. His home was historically restored, and it's actually now a museum. The United Church of Christ has been committed to issues of racial justice for a long time. In 1976, we elected Reverend Joseph Evans to be the new president of the United Church of Christ denomination. And in doing so, he became the first African American leader of a mainline church in the United States. It's exciting to know that we're part of a denomination that has this history. And yet at the same time, we also know that we still have a very long way to go. It was over 40 years ago that we elected an African American to be president of our entire denomination. And yet there are still many churches in our denomination that would not even consider hiring a person of color to be their pastor. Racism continues, and so our prayers need to continue. And together, we can continue to speak up and speak out, lifting every voice and singing until earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of true liberty.